let's talk about home buying. Good afternoon, everyone. So I don't know if you noticed, I had the live stream going. What was it, Monday night, and it's Wednesday now, and it took a lot out of me. I talked for 2 hours straight. Not used to that, but I learned a lot, and hopefully tomorrow night I'm going to do a live stream. And so, yeah, it was a trip. It's weird when I want to make a video short, okay, on time. I go long. When I make a video, when I think I can go long, like I thought I could easily do 2 hours, it seemed like I ran out of stuff to do. So I need to have more content. But anyway, today I wanted to go over, it's a hot real estate market. And I just wanted to go over what I would do in the market today. So, if I were a home buyer, I'll tell you exactly what I would do, and then hopefully that'll help you in your search, find something that works out for you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is John Schenk, and I am the founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a small residential brokerage. We do some light commercial, but we help buyers and sellers in this market navigate all the twists and turns. So with that complete, let's go. We're going to do a weird thing today. I'm just going to do it off my notes. So wish me luck. Always trying something new. And here we go. So I got a call from a new client this morning. She's going to buy a home. And I just wanted to go over the steps that I would take to buy a home. And I hope that it helps you. And this is in the order I would do it. You may have a different opinion, but this is just a structure that you can use to buy your home, or how I would buy a home in 2021 as a real estate agent. So number one, first question you have to answer is do you talk to a real estate agent or a mortgage person first? And it depends, but I would talk to the real estate agent first. The reason being, they're likely to know a mortgage person that they trust, that they can get a deal done. You can certainly start the process with a mortgage person first, but you're likely to have a bunch of questions about the entire buying process versus only the mortgage. So you call me, I say, well, have you worked with a mortgage person? Are you working with one now? And they say no. And I say, well, here's the name of a couple people that I would use. And then, let's hope that the real estate agent that you call has enough experience that they've actually done deals with the agents that they're referring, the mortgage people they're referring. Number two, you want to find a real estate agent? So who do you pick? Do you go on Zillow and call the first person you see on the page? Or do you ask your family and friends who they used? Doesn't really matter. Whatever makes you the most comfortable. And that's true. And I say it like this. If you get a referral from a friend and say, well, we sold our house or we bought our house 5 years ago and the agent was wonderful. Well, is that because the market was, good or bad or indifferent, or the deal just happened to be good or bad? I mean, you just never know. You definitely want to stay away from someone that says, the agent was terrible, but even that deserves some context. I mean, if a deal crashes, is it the agent's fault or is it the people involved? I don't know. So what are you looking for in an agent? Okay. Number one, the ability to communicate in a timely manner. If you call them, they need to be able to return the call that day, or if it's late, the next morning. If you email them, 24 hours max on a response. If they can't communicate in a timely manner, it's not going to work. Your offers are going to be on a time frame. You're going to have to you're going to have to be able to communicate. If you cannot communicate with that person in a timely manner, you can't use them. Number two, someone that you like. Don't pick an agent whose personality clashes with yours. There will be stressful times during the buying process, and you need to work with someone who you feel comfortable around. It's 100% true. If you don't like the person, why are you using them? It's that simple. And number three, someone who seems knowledgeable, but not way too knowledgeable. There are literally agents who sit and drink coffee in the office all day and memorize the real estate sales contract. There are agents who will quote you sales prices for every house on a block. Avoid. With my process, you will learn as you buy, educate yourself so that you don't let someone who knows it all get you in a bad spot. Be careful with people that seem like they know everything. because in real estate, something new always happens, and they will not be prepared for it, and they will do something stupid. So the next thing after you found your real estate agent, you submit documents to a mortgage person and get pre-approval. 99% of offers on homes will have to come with a pre-approval for the seller to even consider your offer. That or proof of funds. If you're interested in buying a home, there's no reason to wait to get a pre-approval. There's no benefit in waiting, and also this sets up our maximum asking price perfectly for search. We immediately know that we can't be looking at houses over the pre-approval. So now we know exactly what we can afford. So now we know where we can set our limits. Number 5, choose an anchor location. So this can be a proximity to work. It can be a zip code. It can be a school district. It can be somewhere affordable, less affordable. The key is it has to be a location. As an example, in St. Louis, do you want to live in the city or the county? Okay, that's too broad. North, west, south, or east. Okay, and then ask the agent if there are any homes that fit your price range in that area. If they don't, find a different spot. If you don't know an area, drive around and find one. I'm telling you that if you try to use a large distance and you use a price, let's just say in this market, I want to buy a home in St. Louis County for $200,000. You are going to never be able to buy a house because you will be looking at so many different kinds of homes for $200,000. Your head will be spinning. You'll be confused. If you pick a location, if you pick a zip code, if you pick an area, okay, then you can narrow it down. Then you can see what houses are selling for in the neighborhood, and you'll be much better off. Okay. Number 6, now that you've chosen your anchor location, start looking at houses. Your agent should have an automatic search set up for you within the criteria and location you have expressed. And these are some things that go along with. Look at the pictures. Ask the agent about disclosures, drive by, and then set up a showing. Drive by because at least 50% of the value of the home is in the location. If the house is next to a gas station and you don't want to live next to a gas station, better to know that on drive by and mark it off the list. Now, you know, the people that are a little bit more technically inclined can look on like Google Maps and walk the streets. That's fine. You still don't get the same sense for the scale that you will get if you drive by. Also, you know, if the Maps car drove by when it was, morning and there was nobody out, and in the afternoon everybody comes out and it's crazy, you're not going to see that unless you drive by the area. So that's why I say drive by. Okay, then set a showing. When you set a showing, you're going to want to ask yourself some questions. 1, what is the asking price of this home relative to others we've seen? More value or less value? And 2, what will the competition be like? Is this house so perfect that we will be in a bidding war? Will the bidding war, the winning bid, be above my limit? So that's something that you can those are 2 things you should really ask. And then number 7, make an offer. You make an offer in consultation with your agent. If this is your first offer and you haven't had a chance to learn the sales prices of any homes you've physically seen already, you're going to have to rely on your agent for a strategy. If you've seen what houses are sold for, go ahead and work with your agent on a pricing strategy based on what you've physically seen in the marketplace. You've been to 5 houses, okay, and they all sold for let's just say they all sold for $230,000, okay. You might want to, and your house is the one that you're going to put an offer on is the exact same. You might want to condition your offer kind of around that price range. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to go in at 210 if you've seen 4 or 5 houses that are going at 230. So next, the offer's rejected. If the offer is rejected, be sad for a bit and get right back to it. Move on. There's always going to be another house out there. I see this time and time again. It sucks to not get a house. It sucks for me to have to tell you didn't get a house. But there are other houses out there. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Number 9, let's say the offer is accepted. Congratulations, you've got an accepted offer. Depending on your offer, there will be dates that you will have to do certain things to keep the house under contract. This might include scheduling home inspections, negotiating inspections, finding out if the house can be insured, waiting for an appraisal, waiting for an occupancy permit, those types of things. You have to do them in a certain order, it's by contract. Number 10, work with your lender on getting the financing in place. When the lender asks you for a document, it's like a game of tennis. You hit the ball back. If the lender asks you for a tax form, you send back the tax form. The lender asks for a copy of the check, you send back a copy of the check, the escrow check. Just do it. I mean, whatever they need, get it done. Then you have loan commitment. At loan commitment, you're in a great spot. You're going to be able to buy the house. Set up the utilities in your name for the day after you close. Call your movers. Now, if you're not planning on moving in the day of closing, that's great. It makes it much easier. I recommend not moving in the day of closing because the loan might not be funded until early the next morning. And then here's where people follow up. Okay. Number one, they never get a mortgage or pre-approval. So now you say to me, John, let's go look at houses, but I don't have a pre-approval. Why am I going to do that? Do you have proof of funds? Do we have something I can put in with my offer that says you can buy this house? Because there's 10 other people that are probably going to have it. So that's one problem. Number two, they never physically go to showings. So they look on their computer and they see like, oh, this house doesn't have a nice color wall, so I don't want to go see it. It doesn't work that way. You really need to buy a house in person. Number three, they don't learn what things sold for and for how much. So they've looked at 5 houses, but they don't know what any of them sold for, or 10 houses, or 15, or 20 in a certain spot, and they don't know what any of them sold for. And so when they go to make an offer on their house, they're either too high, and then they feel ashamed or embarrassed about what they actually spent on this particular home, or they put an offer that's too low because they don't realize what the prices are going for. And some of you will say, hey, that's the agent's job. And my whole thing is you need to educate yourself as we go along, and I'll show you the tips and I'll show you what I see in the marketplace. And so we can come to some sort of a consensus singly for the reason that you don't want to feel like you've been taken on a deal. You do not want buyer's remorse, and I don't want you to have buyer's remorse. So that's why I do it that way. Number three, they don't learn I don't know if I redid that one. So if I did, I'm sorry. I'm not going to change it. They don't learn what it sold for and how much. Number four, they think the agent should pull them to showings versus the buyer actively searching out new opportunities. Okay. If I have 10 buyers, okay, I'm going to look and see what comes up in your search, but I'm assuming you're looking at it too. And when you see something and you want to go look at it, let's go look at it. Or when you have questions about it, let's go over the questions. But if you think I'm going to tell you like, we should look at this house, we should look at that house, we should look at that house, I'm going to say we should look at all the houses, because I don't know what's going to happen until I go see them in person. And then number five, they find the one house everybody else wants and then offer far less than what the competitor's offers will be. So let's say you found the house, and at the showing, all you have is these. Let's say there's people, before you get there, you see people coming out of the house. And when you get there, people are coming out of the house. And when you leave, people are coming into the house. Okay? That house is probably going to have multiple offers. It probably shouldn't go below asking price. Now, the agent's going to call and say to the other agent, hey, do you have any other offers? And they're going to say, yes. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time going in at $10,000 below asking. Don't waste your time with all kinds of contingencies on the contract. Not going to work. But the key to this, and what I want to put in there finally, is just, hey, there's a process for you. Okay? It will work for you. And it's the best process in this market for sure. Okay? But you have to set a location, and then you have to physically go do it. You have to physically go see houses. I see a lot of houses in a lot of parts of town, and it becomes much easier when you see these houses and what they sell for. Okay. And that way you want to work with your agent. You don't want to rely on your agent, if that makes any sense. This is my opinion. You might have others. I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them in the comment section below. If you like this video, please go ahead and click subscribe. It helps me, helps the channel. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will catch you on the next one.